I'm so happy to be here. I'm really happy to be performing live for everybody here tonight. What an honor, truly. It feels really good. I did, like, during the pandemic, I did a bunch of Zoom shows, which I didn't really love. I did one where the organizer of the event was like, you know what? We are tired of, like, kind of just having everybody, like, speak into their computers to silence. We actually want to have everybody in the audience keep their microphones on. I was like, okay! Whatever. I start performing. Truly 4 seconds into my set, I hear an old man go, I think he's gay! You got me! You know what I mean? It was so beautiful to see. I mean, it really was like just to watch someone recognize something and know it intuitively. Adding it up. I know what this is! I know what this is! I know what this is! It's a gay guy. And he was right. He was right. He nailed it. You know, the crazy thing about that though is that up until that moment, I didn't know that. I was like, you know what, a lot of stuff is making sense right now. He's saying that, I'm like, whoa. It's adding up. No, it must be why I love women's gymnastics or whatever. No, I'm kidding. I've been gay for a really long time, sort of thousands of years, but I still, to be honest, I still think it's so funny. I just love it. It makes me laugh every day. What? Sort of a fun little inversion of a classic, you know what I mean? It's like this one, we're just gonna, you know. And it still doesn't totally click for me, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be like on the train or whatever, and I'll be basically like, you know, listening to someone, some guy will be talking to his friend, and he'll be like, yeah, I'm really excited to go home tonight because my husband is making me dinner. And sort of, you know, me listening, split-second reaction, I'm like, yeah, I think you mean your wife, right? Because you're the guy, right? So that would, just like kind of running the numbers in my head on that, actually. If you're a man, so that one must mean you have a wife who's making you dinner, which is kind of in line with, you know what I mean? So, just adding that up really quickly. Maybe you're talking from her POV, you know. I missed you saying, here's what my wife will say when I make her dinner. I'm so glad my husband is making me dinner tonight. Something like that. Takes me another second to be like, you know what, actually, Charlie, some people are gay. It's okay. No judgment, no judgment, seriously. It could happen to anyone, you know? And then it takes me another second to be like, and actually, Charlie, you're gay. Not only that, you're gay. And then I laugh and laugh. Oh, okay. I'm from New York City. Is anybody else here from New York City? Okay, 6. Just counted in my head, 6 people. Everybody else here, bienvenue, something we say here. It means welcome and thank you. It's weird being from New York City and being around a lot of people who aren't, like you guys, no disrespect. The dynamic is a little interesting because people who aren't from New York invariably kind of move here to sort of pursue a beautiful and impossible dream. And then they'll ask me, you know, sort of, oh, Charlie, what brought you here? What brought you here? You know. And I have to be like, oh, yeah, mommy brought me here. I'm here because my mommy was from here, and she had me here, and then I stayed here because I didn't want to be too far from her. So I decided I live here for now. They're like, oh, that's so cool, that's so cool. Like, you know, you're from here, your life must have been like Gossip Girl, you know. I have to be like, oh, you know, in ways, you know. Sometimes I took the train like those girls or something. Taxi too. They're like, oh, you must know all the coolest spots, right? And I'm like, yeah. If you're in New York City, you gotta go to mommy's house. But she's got an L-shaped couch, and you can watch Jeopardy with her at 7, and you can lie on this one, and she can lie on this one, and if you're lucky, she'll actually rub your feet. So if you're in New York City for travel, you gotta check it out. I love New York. I've seen so many crazy things here. I saw recently one of the most crazy things I've ever seen in my life on the train, actually. I was saying something. I was on the train and I was like standing next to this girl who was sitting and she was on her phone. I was reading the stuff that was on her phone. No problem. Totally fair game, you know what I mean? And if you see me on the train, I'm sending something, you know what I mean? Feel free to intervene. Hey, Charlie, it's too many exclamation points. It's a little crazy. So I was looking at her, she was on her phone, and I've never seen anything like it. She was listening to Halsey. I've never seen I was like, I cannot believe I've seen someone go out of their way. Do you know what I mean? No disrespect to Halsey, of course. Well, honestly say that, but you don't need to seek Halsey out. You know what I mean? Run an errand, right? She'll be scoring the whole thing. That's what it sounds like to get groceries. Halsey over. Oh, I love New York. I feel like I've been running late for my whole life, which feels awesome, and it's healthy, actually. It feels good. I love being late in New York. I love being late here. It's the best place to be late because you can leave your house 30 minutes after you're supposed to, and then you get to just be like, oh, I'm so sorry, the trains were crazy today! The truth is that 10 minutes before you were supposed to leave, you pressed play on a 40-minute long YouTube video. You were sort of like, let's just see, you know what I mean? Let's just see how this one works out. 30 minutes after you're supposed to leave, you're like, oh no! How did this happen? I must have a problem. The only issue is that sometimes when you are, you do that, you leave your house late, and you're like, oh, I'll just blame it on the trains. Then the trains actually are crazy. Yeah, and then you have to show up to your office job, you're 56 minutes late. You have to go up to your boss like, hey, Catherine! I am so sorry about today. The trains were crazy! I was on the queue, and it actually fell off the bridge. Can you believe it? Basically, it's a sort of snake through the East River till we found the L train tunnel. Completely waterlogged by the time we got there. I'm dripping wet, you can see. A lot of sick passengers from the illnesses in the river. So sorry. My tip for you is if you're ever running late, I love to text someone when I'm running late, hey, I should be there in 5. But to use the word should not in the probability sense of the word, but in the moral sense of the word should. I should be there in 5. That's not what's gonna happen, sweetie. I clicked on the long YouTube video again, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna talk about one last thing, then I'll go. My parents are divorced, no problem. Seriously, no worries. They got divorced in January 2002. And I remember I recently asked my mom, I was like, oh, haha, did you guys get divorced because of 9/11? And she was like, well, it was a complicated time, actually. It's pretty fine. I actually find it totally chill for them. I feel like I had a lot of friends growing up who, they had one parent or a parent who was there and then one who had kind of just like, peace, no problem. I remember when my parents told me that they were getting a divorce, they sat me down with my brother, I was like 6, and they're like, okay, they explained it and they're like, we just want you guys to know that this has nothing to do with you guys and this is not your fault, and we still love you. And I heard that, and I was just like, oh my God, I didn't even consider that. Interesting of you to bring it up, actually. It wasn't even in my head at all. Now I'm kind of being like, oh my God, wait, hold on. Have we had a weird vibe? A lady doth protest too much. I can tell. Yeah, no, it's pretty chill. Most of my friends growing up, whatever. But I did go to college, and I did meet a lot of people in college who had not only two parents, but little suburban houses in the suburbs of Philadelphia, and they all had these like family group chats, which was so mystifying to me. Very confusing. Like it would be like the mom would text a picture of their dad wearing like a cowboy hat, and they'd be like, "Say howdy to your old man." What's going on? What is this? One time I was like, okay, that's cute, I want to try, and I had news to tell my parents, I put them in a group chat together and I sent it, and they responded separately, no problem. I was like, right, you guys don't want to do that. I don't see them together very much. It's not acrimonious, it just doesn't come up. So every time I do see them together, it's like a very weird dynamic where it sort of feels, it feels like the thing of when your camp friends meet your school friends. You know what I mean? You're like, oh my god, Mom, have you met Dad? Hold on. You guys might actually, it's like kind of my favorite thing in the world. It's like, do you know the energy you have of when you introduce two people at a party and you just feel so like powerful in like a long gown? You're like, you find like a really specific thing to like sort of bond them over. You're like, wait, Jenny, have you met Derek? You both recently had troubling experiences with friends' dogs. Go for it. Oh, man. But you know, guys, that's all I'm gonna do. Thank you so much.